What if the peace you're searching for isn't found in light, but in the darkness you've been avoiding? What if calm isn't born from silence and meditation, but from facing the chaos you've buried inside? Carl Jung called this confrontation shadow work, and it may be the most uncomfortable and liberating journey of your life. We spend years building an image of who we think we should be: polite, kind, strong, moral, spiritual. But everything that doesn't fit that image, our anger, envy, fear, desire, shame, we hide. We push it down until it becomes a separate part of us, unseen yet alive. Jung referred to this hidden aspect as the shadow. The shadow isn't evil, it's unconscious. It's every impulse, thought, and emotion we reject. But here's the paradox. What we suppress controls us. We think we're escaping our darkness, but in truth, it's pulling the strings behind the scenes. Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Every time you explode in anger and don't know why, every time you sabotage something good, every time you feel irrational fear or shame, that's the shadow acting through you. Yet the shadow also holds immense power. It's the source of your raw vitality, passion, and authenticity. Inside the darkness lies your light, but to reach it, you must first dare to look. Shadow work begins with awareness. You can't heal what you refuse to see. Start noticing your emotional reactions, the people who irritate you, the traits you can't stand in others. Those reactions are mirrors. When someone's arrogance drives you crazy, maybe you've disowned your own need for recognition. When someone's sensitivity annoys you, perhaps you've rejected your own vulnerability. That's projection, the psyche's defense mechanism. We see in others what we can't face in ourselves. But every projection is a clue. It points back to a part of your soul waiting to be reclaimed. The second step is honesty, raw, unfiltered honesty. Instead of suppressing emotions, observe them. When jealousy or anger arises, don't label it wrong. Ask, what truth is this emotion trying to show me? Maybe your jealousy reveals a buried desire. Maybe your anger shows where your boundaries were crossed. Every feeling carries a message if you're willing to listen. The third step is compassion. Shadow work isn't about judging yourself. It's about understanding. Every dark emotion once tried to protect you. Anger defended your boundaries. Shame kept you safe from rejection. Fear warned you of danger. When you meet these emotions with empathy instead of hatred, they begin to soften. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Real peace isn't about avoiding pain. It's about integrating it. It's not becoming pure, it's becoming whole. Think back to your childhood. How many times were you told, "Don't cry, don't be angry, don't be selfish"? Every time that happened, a piece of your authentic self was pushed into the dark. You learned that certain emotions made you lovable, while others made you unworthy. But those rejected emotions didn't disappear, they waited. Now, as adults, we wear masks to appear calm and good, while deep down we feel disconnected. Shadow work invites you to take off those masks, one by one, and meet what's underneath. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's also where your freedom begins. Because when you meet your shadow, you stop fighting yourself. You stop wasting energy on denial. You stop projecting your pain onto others. The moment you accept what you've hidden, your mind begins to quiet. Jung compared this process to descending into the underworld, the mythic journey of the hero facing the dragon. But here's the secret. The dragon guards the treasure. Your shadow guards your strength. Beneath the fear lies freedom. Beneath shame lies authenticity. Beneath anger lies truth. When you reclaim those pieces, something changes. You start to act consciously, instead of reacting automatically. You stop being afraid of who you are. You feel whole again. Shadow work doesn't make you perfect, it makes you real. And that's where peace lives, not in pretending to be only light, but in learning to carry your darkness with awareness. In a world obsessed with positivity, shadow work is a form of rebellion. It says, I refuse to hide from my humanity. I choose to see all of me, the good, the bad, and the beautiful. That's what inner peace truly is. Not a fragile calm that breaks at the first sign of pain, but a deep knowing that nothing inside you needs to be feared. When you stop running from your shadow, you stop running from yourself. And only then do you find what you were looking for all along. Peace that can't be taken away. When you begin to integrate your shadow, something subtle but profound shifts. Life stops feeling like a constant fight. You no longer spend your energy pretending, performing, or defending a false image of yourself. You begin to feel grounded, real, as if a heavy armor you've been wearing for years suddenly falls away. But here's the paradox. Facing your shadow doesn't mean fixing it. You're not trying to get rid of fear or jealousy or anger. You're learning to hold them with awareness, instead of letting them control you. Jung often described this as holding the tension of the opposites, the ability to stand in the middle of light and darkness without rejecting either. That balance is where transformation happens. The world often teaches us that peace is found by eliminating discomfort. But Jung understood something deeper. Peace is found when you can sit with discomfort without being consumed by it. Shadow work isn't about making the darkness disappear. It's about expanding your consciousness until it no longer threatens you. When you do this, your shadow becomes an ally. The emotions you feared start to guide you rather than sabotaging you. Anger becomes a signal for boundaries. Fear becomes a compass for courage. Envy becomes a mirror showing you what your soul truly desires. Every dark emotion, when understood, transforms into wisdom. This is what Jung meant by integration. You stop identifying only with your ego, the mask you show to the world, and reconnect with the totality of who you are. You realize you're both the storm and the calm that follows, the sinner and the saint, the wound and the healer. The shadow doesn't disappear, it becomes illuminated from within. But shadow work isn't just about psychology. It's spiritual. It demands honesty so profound that it becomes a sacred thing. When you face your inner darkness, you step into a kind of humility that opens the door to something greater. What Jung called the self, the center of your psyche that unites all opposites. In that state, you begin to see the divine pattern in everything, even in your pain. The moments you once labeled as failures start to look like invitations to grow. The people who triggered you become teachers in disguise. Every shadow, every heartbreak, every fear, it all becomes part of the unfolding of your wholeness. But the path isn't easy. The ego resists. It will do anything to maintain control, to keep the illusion that you are only light. The ego says, I'm fine, even when you're not. It says, I'm above anger, even when you're boiling inside. Shadow work tears through that illusion. It demands vulnerability, the willingness to say, yes, I am jealous. Yes, I am afraid. Yes, I am human. And in that honesty, something magical happens. The moment you stop pretending to be perfect, you become free. You stop needing approval. You stop chasing peace, and instead, peace starts to find you. There's a strange beauty in meeting your shadow. You realize that everything you were ashamed of is simply part of being alive. You no longer need to project your pain onto others because you've accepted it within yourself. You no longer need to control people or situations because you've made peace with your inner chaos. Jung once said that the greatest burden a person can bear is their unlived life. The shadow holds that unlived life, the desires you suppressed, the talents you dismissed, the truths you denied. When you integrate your shadow, you reclaim your vitality. You start to live from authenticity, not fear. Inner peace isn't the absence of darkness. It's the courage to face it. It's not about escaping who you are, but becoming so conscious that nothing within you can scare you anymore. When you meet your shadow with compassion, you stop dividing yourself. You become whole. And wholeness, not perfection, is what your soul has been seeking all along. So ask yourself, what are you still hiding from? What emotion do you refuse to feel? What truth about yourself do you fear the most? Because that's where your freedom lies. The shadow you avoid holds the key to the peace you crave. Every time you turn toward your pain instead of running from it, you grow stronger. Every time you forgive a part of yourself you once hated, you become more alive. Every time you stop judging yourself for being human, you come closer to your soul. That's the essence of Jung's teaching, not to destroy your darkness, but to love it into light, to realize that you were never broken, only divided. The work isn't about becoming someone new, but remembering who you already are beneath the layers of denial and fear. Shadow work is not an intellectual exercise, it's a lived experience. It's the quiet moment when you look in the mirror and finally see everything, the light, the flaws, the wounds, and whisper, I accept you. That's when the inner war ends. And from that peace, your outer world changes too. Relationships deepen. Creativity flows. Fear loosens its grip. You stop living reactively and start living consciously. You begin to understand what Jung meant when he said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Maybe that's what inner peace really means, not eternal calm, but inner alignment. A life where every part of you has a place, even the parts once buried in shadow. So I'll ask you this. What would happen if, instead of running from your darkness, you invited it to sit beside you? What if the very thing you've been avoiding is the path to your wholeness? If this message resonates with you, let it be a reminder. Peace isn't something to find. It's something to uncover within. And if you found value in this reflection, remember to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into psychology, philosophy, and the inner life. Because the journey to peace begins not with escaping yourself, but with finally meeting who you've always been.